All right, it's here. The ASC Pro has finally landed. I'm excited to talk about it, but before we get into all this, we got to take a step back, take it out of the box, see what comes in the box so we can figure out how to put this thing together. Okay, we've got it out of the box. Let's take a look at everything it comes with. We're gonna take a look at the extras that we have that you might need to build it up the way you want. We're gonna go over a lot of little things. It's gonna seem complicated. It's really not that complicated, but you can get lost along the way. That's okay, I'm here to guide you through it. So our first thing we're gonna talk about is the size. We have three options, 325, 350, and 375 millimeters, of course. So you're gonna ask, how do I know what size is right for me? And that's simple. You go get a bike fit. You go see a fitter. Since this is a one-piece system, we need to know what size is right for us. And really the only way you're gonna find that out is by going and getting a bike fit. Having that relationship with a bike fitter is really, really important for a product like this. Whether it's custom, semi-custom, go get a bike fit. It's worth it. You don't wanna be guessing. There's a lot of things as we go through this process. There's a lot of little details in here. Again, you can get lost along the way, but that fitter is going to help guide you through it so you don't buy things you don't need or then realize you got to buy something else and it just creates a headache. All right, now we're going to talk about brackets. So the ASC Pro comes stock with two 15 millimeter offset brackets. You can keep them wide like this, 15 millimeters pointed out. You can move them across, 15 millimeters pointed in for a very narrow setup. There is an option for a 5 millimeter bracket. Again, going back to a bike fit, don't just buy one just because. Definitely go get a bike fit. Know if you want the 5 millimeter option, if that's going to be right for you. Now, they can move back and forth like that for in or out, but you can also flip them this way, which will move your reach backwards 20 millimeters. Now, to do that, we're going to use these guys. These are the switch adapters. I forgot what they're called. Switch adapters. Now, the switch adapter just simply allows you to flop the brackets just the way we're talking. But it is very important to note that if you do utilize the switch adapter, it will move everything above it, which means if you're using tilt wedges, which we'll talk about later, they are an option, it will flip those as well. So your whole bracket, everything flips around. So hypothetically speaking, you have a +5 tilt on your armrests, right? Using tilt wedges for +5. You then go, oh wait, now I want to move back 20 millimeters and use a switch adapter. Well, now you've got a -5 angle, which is not what you want. So very important, again, I'm going to reiterate, go get a bike fit. Know beforehand if you want your reach to be back or forward before you go buying wedges, because you're going to set yourself up, make a change, and then have parts you don't need. Next, two little simple guys here. They're just armrest pad stickers, totally optional, up to you if you want to use them or not. I like them. I think they make it more comfortable, more grippy. So totally optional there. They just stick on your standard stick them, easy enough. And lastly, our hardware. So nothing special, bolts, washers, lugs. We'll go over that as we start to build this guy up. So that's everything that comes in the box. Let's get this guy built up. Another question you're going to be asking is if your base bar is even compatible with the ASC Pro. The ASC Pro is compatible with any bar using our A3 platform. You can also use the A2 to A3 adapter as well if you're on an older system like the Area Ultimate. There are a lot of bike manufacturers that use both our A3 and A2 platforms. And for a full list of compatible bikes and bars, check out the link in the description below. Let's start with the tilt angle. The ASC Pro comes with a default 15-degree tilt angle built into it. You can adjust this up or down using tilt wedges. Also, just to note, you can adjust up to a maximum of 10 degrees, which added to the built-in 15 degrees will give you a total of 25 degrees of tilt. And you can tilt down by 5 degrees, reducing that built-in 15 degrees to 10 degrees. Let's take a look at what happens if we use the switch adapter. You can see here that with the switch adapter on, the entire stack rotates. For today, we're sticking with a positive 10 degrees. So I'm going to take a 5 degree wedge, a 2, and a 3. And I'm going to throw on a 40 millimeter riser as well. So back to calculating our bolt length. I'm going to go down to the chart at the bottom for the Wing 20C Plus. Now we just look up our bolt length. So it says here we're using 10 degrees. We need a 45 millimeter in the front and a 40 millimeter in the back. But since we're using a 40 millimeter riser, we just add that 40 millimeters to the total that it gives us, giving us 85 in the front and 80 in the back. If you're using the switch adapter, you can check the chart here, but you could also just remember that it's a flat 10 millimeters that you're going to add to your bolt length. One thing I like to do with these barrels is add some painter's tape, just enough to hold them in place and keep them from wiggling around too much. So we start off by putting on the riser, then the wedges, followed by the bracket. If you look down through the top, it's a lot easier to see where your bolt is going. Now that we have that set up, we just need to attach the ASC Pro. One other adjustment you can make on the ASC Pro is you can move it internally and externally by 10 degrees. And the very last thing we're going to do is attach the optional Garmin mount. Just pop off these little covers and it screws right in. There you have it, the ASC Pro in all its glory. Now, we went through a lot, and I hope I answered all your questions. But if I didn't, remember, go see a bike fitter. That's what they're there for. So thanks for hanging out. See you on the next one.